Hello and welcome to another episode of M&H Consultants or Breakfast Banter. M is Anita Menon on my left, and of course I'm VH Ron Howard. Thank you for watching this podcast. We have today a very special guest. I'm not sure which subject we're going to talk about, but that's going to be with you because we have a choice of several.
Yes.
Before we do that, though, I usually ask, what's for breakfast, Anita?
So today we have some breakfast from Nomad. I really like their food, and I'm surprised you haven't tried them before. But today we're just trying some sweet stuff from there, some croissant with some selected butter and clotted cream and whatnot with it. And then we have a very interesting cake, which is the Omali cake. And I'm sure it'll be worth a try. And then our guest over here, Mahmood, is having a coffee from Nomad, which is usually pretty good. So I will have to ask you if you like it or not a bit later after you've tried it. So let's.
I'm sure it's not as good as his coffee.
that is where I was going to ask him. Is it as good as your coffee? But you just
I'm sorry.
beat me to it.
Stole your thunder.
So anyway, that is why I particularly got your coffee. So, welcome, Mahmood. We're very happy to have you on our podcast, and we've been planning this for a while, and a lot of things happened in between, and we were not able to, get on with it. But here you are, and we're very, very delighted. So,
Yes,
Mahmood,
welcome.
and we've been introduced, right? Mahmood, Ron. Mahmood is the founder and the CEO of Gahwa.co, which is one of its kind coffee and red tea capsule making company. And he's experimented a lot with different kind of blends of specialty coffees from around the region and beyond this region as well, and has come up with one of the best blends that you can ever find in capsules. And as Arabic coffee, which is Gahwa, is what is it called in the traditional way, right?
Yes.
Or am I pronouncing it wrong?
No, it's Gahwa.
It's Gahwa,
Yeah.
right. And the red tea. I particularly like the red tea.
Ah.
So I'm looking forward to definitely try that a bit later. So Mahmood, today I just don't want to only touch upon your business side of it. I know that you're a very multifaceted personality, and you are a yogi, and I've known you as a yogi first and an entrepreneur second.
Okay.
I know you teach yoga, and a lot of students swear by your practice. You're also with the art of living. You're a meditator, and you've been a HR professional for years together. So a lot is going on for you. And so, how do you set priority in your life?
Thank you very much, first of all, for having me here. I would like to express how honored to be here. Likewise, I like to define myself, first of all, as a people's person, as a number one. I always tend to say that I like looking at people in the eye and speak from the heart. So when it comes to as a professional, like in my profession, I like to help people and try to enable people when it comes to as an HR professional, for example, or when I was like a corporate trainer. I used to love measuring performance, like where trainers came before the training program and how they progress after we finished the training program. And then and didn't stop there. I always like to measure my own KPIs, let's say. And over the years, I reflect how the journey started doing yoga, for example. I remember telling one of the higher teachers of Art of Living, his name called Grinji. He asked me, "Why did you start doing yoga?" And I told him, it started as a luxury, and then just recently became a necessity. So I just started doing it for pleasure. And then it's like I've been preparing myself for these tough times. And now it is I know how, I can understand the significance of actually performing meditation or breathing exercises or yoga asanas. It doesn't matter what you label it, as long as you are into or seeking an inner journey within yourself.
So you've been in the yoga practice for how many years now?
Almost 8 years now,
Okay.
as a yoga teacher. All
And practicing yoga?
practicing
Before
yoga for
that?
no practicing yoga for like 8 years, and I've been teaching yoga for the past 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, and it really helped. I mean, that rewarding feeling when you look at people, they say, "Oh, we love your class." Oh, we feel that we've been doing yoga like for different reasons or for like without aim.
Yeah.
Especially when I try. I mean, I'm training now in Fitness First,
Okay.
so most of the trainees over there, they come and they just want to sleep, they want to rest, they don't know what to do, they're confused. But to be able to run the show and to be able to guide them, I mean, it's a very it's a hard responsibility for you to even to let them surrender into your guidance for the class. It is a huge responsibility.
And it's a big achievement. I mean, people don't trust other people that easily.
Yeah.
Even if they're trainers, it takes time.
Yes.
And I have been to his class.
I was going to ask you.
Yes, I have been to his class. And I must say that it was really a wonderful class. I felt exercised and rested because that's the way he takes his class. It was not just exercise and feeling exhausted at the end of it. He just makes sure that you've calmed down and rested completely by the time you leave the class. And then you go home feeling really happy and content. So that's what I felt when I came to your class all those Saturdays. So thank you, Mahmood, for all that beautiful introduction around yoga. We'll come back to it a bit later, but let's talk about your company.
Okay, so just to give you a bit of a hint of like what happened, like what happens normally whenever I pitch the idea. So I've always loved having different people's company in my house. When I was a student, I used to love to bring people together. So that means sweets, Gahwa, tea. Like traditionally, this is what we do. So the idea started like, how do I try to like influence like international students to be able to prepare their own Gahwa by themselves.
You did that here or in the UK where you studied?
In the UK, I used to just roast casually. I used to call my father, how to roast, how many spoons of cardamom shall I put, how many spoons of cloves, how many, pinches of saffron, for example. And I didn't have a clue, like, to be honest, on how to prepare it properly. But the passion started like there, my flat was never empty. And I'm like a huge coffee lover. Every day, my friends, they know, like at 4 p.m. my phone is closed, they know where to find me. I'm in Costa Coffee. So so when I came back, my first job, I used to start, I worked in events management. Whereas I used to attend a lot of conferences, a lot of events, seminars, and training programs. And I've been like around hotel, let's say, halls. And I've always been curious about the Nespresso Professional, the capsule, the professional one. And I've always thought, well, there is like a huge gap in the market. Why?
I'm just thinking here, how come they miss Gahwa?
And here everybody drinks it.
I mean, millions of people drink Gahwa, don't
Yeah.
they? And yet here's this product that doesn't offer it.
Well, you see, there is like two ways we can approach your question. See, for example, how come they missed Turkish coffee?
They miss Turkish coffee
Yes,
also.
that's probably even more popular than Gahwa.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like Turkish coffee, you can have with the same with the same bean that you can have the Arabic coffee, but with a different roast. But you can have the same blend as an espresso, but it's not the coffee itself. It is the way you prepare it. So it's a very finer grind for the coffee, and the way you boil it. You actually boil the coffee powder inside, and then just serve it as it is. It doesn't have to be purified.
You don't filter it.
You don't filter it, you don't purify it, nothing. So what I mean is like it's a different mechanism.
Is it technically difficult to make it into a capsule?
It's if you do, some people labeled it as Turkish coffee, but credibility-wise,
It's not really that.
it's not.
Because because I think most of the capsule coffees filter everything out.
It is the way you prepare coffee rather than what is the coffee made of.
Is it?
Yeah,
The preparation style.
it is the preparation.
So there isn't a capsule for Turkish coffee yet?
There are capsules labeled as Turkish
Yes,
coffee,
but it doesn't taste like it.
but
It's not authentically.
it's
so.
not. It is like the Arabic coffee. Sorry, the Turkish coffee is the way to prepare the coffee itself. So, for example, the red tea. It is very tricky to have it in a capsule. Okay, had a lot of people like. It's a very weird thing for people to digest, let's say. But since like they tried it, it took me so like very long time to perfect the aroma, the color, and the taste.
I
Okay.
get that, but you're an individual. The company that's making Nestle or Nespresso,
Yeah.
or whatever
Nespresso.
has many more resources than you do. But yet
Maybe they
you
just-
managed it.
Man,
They do.
They simply missed it and you got on.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I would love, I would like to believe that they missed it, but they didn't.
I
I'll
think.
tell you why.
Okay.
Nespresso, it is Nestle. Dolce Gusto, it's Nestle. And actually, Nestle, they have Arabic coffee sachets. Which I mean, you can have like three
With
in
hot
one.
water, you
With
mix
hot
them,
water,
yeah.
yeah. So they didn't miss it
You
out.
didn't miss it in that form, though.
They missed it in that form. They thought it
They already have it in
I mean,
powder.
it couldn't be done in that sense.
Ah.
Maybe yes, or maybe they thought of like, oh, well, Arabs they like to do their coffee in Della, so
So
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
get into that market?
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
after this podcast, they'll buy you out.
Well,
Oh, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I'll be happily be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be the best thing ever.
That does seem to be a big miss, doesn't it?
It is a big miss, but I think technically it might have been a lot more difficult to put this in a capsule format.
Yeah, and it took like a very long time for me to perfect the research and development, I would say. For the research and development, for example, let's talk about this, like let's say more. If I were not, I mean, comfortable enough in the product that I have, I wouldn't introduce it to everybody, probably even national TV.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's always areas of improvements. But for you to understand, like like this one single flavor took me more than 2 years and a half to develop. Yeah, like so many trials and errors, so many capsules exploded inside of machines.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and like it's funny. It was frustrating. It was very tiring and very it's hardship.
Yeah.
And
Are you still researching new flavors?
yeah, I have a new flavor which I'll be happy to announce here in the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. We are so
I'll
honored.
I'll become a coffee drinker.
It's not coffee.
Oh,
It's
tea.
not tea.
Oh,
It's zero caffeine. It is well-known herbal teas.
Oh, nice.
try that.
South African rooibos tea.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
it is-
so you're not just doing Middle Eastern drinks?
I'm focusing on authentic tastes. It doesn't mean that's
Across
only
the world, whatever
Yeah.
are authentic tastes.
I focus on really authentic tastes. I don't like to have weird tastes. That's not my segment. I mean, it works. Nescafe or Nesquik or I mean Maltesers or whatever flavors. But for the rooibos tea, why I focus on that is because it's zero caffeine. It has a very rich red tea color. It has a very nice aroma. It has it's very rich with antioxidants. Sorry. And I've done a lot of research. Like nowadays, even like coffee shops at the started to adapt rooibos flavors.
Where do you do this research?
The research started at home.
Right. Well, everybody starts at
Yeah,
home,
and it's actually at home. Hopefully, we have like entities such as Ministry of Labor and Social Development.
Yeah.
I have like a sort of like CR, but with the TR number, but for my house. Whereas
So it's technically your lab.
it is,
Okay.
and it's been certified by Ministry of Health.
Okay.
I gave them samples, and like it is actually legit.
Nice.
Where do you produce?
Same. I have another. I had like fully like equipped let's say area. It started like as a store. Now it's like a workshop, a dedicated workshop. Whereas I started with one worker. Now operation is growing. Like we're going to talk about even like let's say capacity that I have, and why did I enter? I mean, why started seeking for funds? For example, this is like exactly how it started.
So this is where our next question comes on.
Can I only buy it online? It's just available online.
It is now only available online. Well, it's not only. I would say ideally, the ultimate goal is to sell online mostly, most of the sales, because as a full automated life cycle of the product to be sold online, it is much cheaper, it's much efficient,
Well, that's the
cheaper for me
business
and for you
Yeah.
as a customer as
Yeah.
well. And the least human effort ever you can have into like selling the product. So like I just prepare like the coffee capsules that'll be in a warehouse. The order comes in online.
So it's on demand.
It's on demand.
Okay, good.
It's a full-fledged like
Amazing
e-commerce
this,
system.
isn't it?
Everything is, yeah, we've been also talking about on demand lately, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's the best way to contain your costs.
Yeah.
Now, the next question is obviously about scalability. You started experimenting, and I know that you started preparing blends for your friends and family. They gave you a lot of encouragement to kind of go bigger. And now, what is your plan for scaling up your businesses? Or I know you already have a plan, but what challenges particularly did you face to scale up?
I'll talk about like first of all about how my family like played a huge role in this. My father, he's like subconsciously, unconsciously, like made us welcome our guests like in whatever mean we can.
Yeah, the
at home.
hospitality is like
Hospitality,
100%.
yeah. So our house is open every night during Ramadan, every single night. So and I had for this year, for the first year, I had like an espresso machine as well there for my capsules. And I used to always have different kind of blends, weird tastes. I used to just like do market research on my sisters, my brothers, and my nephews, my nieces, and it was like a good platform to start. Then the circle grew. I started like preparing orders for my sisters' bosses or their friends, their to the extended family, and I remember once. So it was the same scalability. It was like just barely doing 200 capsules per week.
Okay.
So
And you were making all these capsules by yourself?
I used to do it by myself, and then started having like a help with my wife as well. We used to do like different shifts, me and my wife. We used to do
My
like,
gosh.
yeah.
200 capsules is a lot per week. If just the two of you are
Before.
doing it.
Before now we do. I mean, we have different capacity. It's much more. I would say before. I mean, 1 year ago we managed to do with the same setup that we had before. Around 200 capsules per hour.
Oh, whoa.
So
That's a big scale.
Yeah.
that's a big scalability,
Yeah.
yes. And I started. Well, I don't really know a lot about carpentry or working with plastic, like as in acrylic and stuff, or handicrafts. But I always were like curious about it. So I had to do a lot of like literally experiment into like
For packaging.
yeah, no, for the process of packing.
Okay.
So it was very interesting for me.
It's a steep learning curve for you. It's not just the product, but everything that goes with it,
Yes.
including marketing.
Yes, and you know, and I realized this is like what I want to talk about. I realized like you can do everything by yourself. Then this is like this is not entrepreneurship. So, and I was like, then I'm just like I've been into like a huge dilemma, and I don't have much time to do like everything at once. I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the sales, I'm doing the production, I'm doing like I wanted to do everything at once, and I had different ideas of how to run business, and then until like I came to know what an entrepreneur like. What does an entrepreneur, I mean, stand for? Let's say.
You focus on your core business and outsource the rest.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Exactly.
Only otherwise you cannot scale up.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
until that, and you know, I had like when I started doing my research and development, when I was ready to penetrate Bahrain, I for some reason I was scouting in Sijilat and stuff, and I saw one competition opened.
Oh,
It was March 2019.
okay.
And I already had the whole setup in operation, okay, before that. And I was like, you know, after all, I'm not the only one. I thought I was the only one.
Okay.
And then I started looking at the prices. I was like, then I'm very glad they set up the price ceiling so I can have like
Adjust
different.
it, yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, I had like one influencer shout out,
Okay.
Bahrain food.
Oh, okay.
It was nice.
Yeah,
And
very
you know,
effective.
and then it was the time where I came to know about capacity issues. So
Now, if people start demanding, you have to service them.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they will never order again.
Exactly.
Did that happen to you?
that happened to me big times.
Oh my God.
So you know, like I was very happy that I had so many orders, but then I couldn't fulfill them. Like I had hundreds of orders, and then my capacity was like maybe 20%.
Oh,
So, yeah, like I don't know what to do, and
that's a big stretch.
yeah, I postponed a lot like of orders for like 1 week, like more than a week, and it was nice, but you know, as they say, if you have customers and you just like delay their orders for whatever reason, what customers do? They will not shout at you. They will not say any bad things to you in your face. They will punish you by never buying from you again.
Yes.
So,
So that happened. You kind
So-
of lost customers
Yeah.
because you couldn't fulfill the demand.
yes,
Yeah, I mean, that's a big challenge.
So-
Scalability, getting it right is tricky.
exactly.
Very
so
tricky.
then I knew that I had to increase my capacity. I had to scale.
You still produce in your property?
Right now, yes, I do, and I have. Well, I cannot disclose exactly how I'm expanding at the moment right now, but I have like an MOU with a bigger company as well
to move production outside.
Yes.
That's great. But the whole Made in Bahrain brand should help you set up the manufacturing, packaging facility, right?
This is a very good point. Before getting into it more, I would elaborate how I first came to, like, when I first came in contact with صادرات البحرين or export Bahrain. So, as you know, we finished the B1 show.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the episode itself, I spoke to His Excellency, Mr. Ayman Al-Muayyad, and I told him that I want you to pave the way for me to be able to work with Export Bahrain, because I need the logo, Made in Bahrain.
Made in Bahrain.
Yeah. So this is one of the things. This is like where like the talks initially started.
Right.
Well, there are a lot of things to be done right now, but the most important thing for me at the moment is to actually I need to decide. I really need to decide whether to take it. I mean, I know what I want to do,
And
but
how is it going to impact you in any way negatively?
it's either go big or go home.
Yeah, it's
At
like
the
that.
moment, it is like that.
So, but
Seriously,
with
there's
Export Bahrain, they will really make sure that you scale up, right?
exactly,
You have to be prepared for it.
yeah,
Here.
mentally more than anything else. Seriously, yeah.
Yes, and that can be very sort of scary.
It is. It is. Well, they say old ways will not open new doors.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
and like
that's a good saying.
That's good saying.
Yeah,
you know,
old
and
ways will not open your doors. I'm gonna remember that.
so I don't, and I will add another quote to for this to be more alive. And what Einstein always say, I mean, used to say, insanity is to repeat the failed step all over again and expect a different result.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be kept in that loop because I'll tell you why. It is a very sensitive topic because why I mentioned His Excellency Mr. Ayman Mayed. I told him in the episode, but it was not aired. Okay, for some reason they had to take it off. That I really am very humbled and I appreciate the opportunity to be on this platform. It's a very huge milestone for Bahrain and for young entrepreneurs. But for me, as a like, I want to manufacture, I want to produce, I have a lot of ideas. I want more space. I need someone to take me and like to sponsor me. I need an incubator. Okay, there is no incubator. The ecosystem for such a business is still the way it's not paved for us to actually excel in this industry. You know,
Okay.
I would say like for SMEs at least. I'm not going to talk about like multi-millionaire companies, which that everything for them can be done through, for example, the ABB.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a very easy journey for them in terms
Yeah.
of legalities. But for me, as a local company, as an SME, I have a lot at stake, a lot to lose.
Yes.
Okay, I need someone to take my hand, to actually direct me and guide me. What do you actually need? Because right now, I have three big needs for my business to scale it. I need a capsule packaging machine. I need a coffee roasting machine, and I need a few small appliances like a grinder and stuff and a few things.
Can't Tamkeen help you with
Yeah, I was
that?
just about to ask.
This takes me to Tamkeen. Since I finished B-Ban, I finished Tenmo program, the accelerator program as well. And I've been there. I mean, I've been asking a lot for the special projects route. So, and they
So
said,
everything is fast.
yeah,
And did you get it?
no. They said, well, it's not necessarily that what you're doing is a special project.
But it is because nobody else is doing it.
No, it's the reimbursement of the cost of the machine, isn't it?
It's not much. We're not talking about much. I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands. We're not talking about hundreds of thousands. Okay, and I mean, well, to me, I specifically said, to me, I know it's a special project, but to you as well, it should be somehow of a special project. But I know there are competition and Bahraini-based competition, and the competition itself here in Bahrain, okay, it's very good. It's good for me. It's good for the country. It's good for the economy. It helps us work together. It helps us grow. They ensure that their quality is up to the standard for the market, and I ensure that my quality is up to the standard of the market as well, so we can compete. Okay, I would say even if there were like 10 companies in Bahrain, it will still be a special project.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, but I don't know the criteria.
I agree with you because I know your project and I think it is one of a kind. and special projects usually support these kind of projects. So
And one of the weird things that I had, like when I wanted to apply for the special projects route, there's an account manager that's been assigned to us from Tamkeen, and I've been talking to her. She's been a very like a huge help, like with us. But she said, "How much did you spend over the years? You get to like you should have been like you should have spent at least a significant amount of money to be able to label as like in the special project route." I mean, it was very confusing for me. If I if I have
yeah, the criteria is not really clear.
if I had that amount of money, I wouldn't apply for a scheme of Tamkeen. I would let someone who really needs it to benefit from it.
That is true. Yeah, I
So-
hope it sorts out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe just trying to get 50% of the cost of the machine reimbursed,
Yes.
which is a different program.
Yeah, it's not special projects, the regular scheme. But then the wait line for it is really big.
Anyways,
Mm. So, are you going to ask?
yeah, well, moving on. Is there a link between what you do in yoga and your business?
This is a
I don't
very
mean the product.
yeah. I know.
Like, how does the yoga practice help you be a better entrepreneur?
It's not only a better entrepreneur, it's how it helped me to be a better person, to be honest. See, culturally, yoga wasn't, I wouldn't say that was not acceptable. It was like all cultures, they have a lot of restrictions for the things that they don't understand. For me, yoga even helps me perform my own daily 5 daily prayers, let's say. Yeah, so it really like gives you a different perspective on why do you stand and pray, for example. And like yoga is like, I always tend to say this. Yoga is like, some say 5,000 years old, some say 10,000 years old. There are different
Claims. Yeah.
claims. Well, I know for a fact that Islam is like 1,400 plus years old. But let's not like talk technicality or religiously a lot, but I would always say like it's good to keep an open mind of things that can make you enhance the experience, for example. So for example now, I want to speak about this because there's yoga, there is breathing exercises, and there's meditation.
Yeah.
So I always start with breathing exercises or Sudarshan Kriya, doing my pranayama and then doing the yoga asanas, and then concluding with either yoga nidra or meditation.
Yeah.
So yogic sleep or actual meditation. So while praying, all of these things happen. While reciting, while breathing, while performing the movement, standing, bowing, and then going down like a child pose alike kind of postures. Okay, why do we do that? Why do I have to perform?
Yeah.
Why don't I just sit and recite and then that's it? I prayed. So it's the whole experience. Okay, so
It gives you a better understanding.
yes. So I would say for the yoga, I mean in general, why am I very interested? Why I became a yoga trainer in the beginning? Because there is a message to be spread. Okay. In terms of the business, I would say there are so many points. Like I swear, like I wanted to give up. I thought then it's not worth it. Maybe I'm not cut for this. At times we have a saying, whomever who wants to do it all, sometimes just want to give it all up. Like you can't do everything at once. I don't want to blame the ecosystem. I don't want to blame the circumstances. It's not circumstantial. It's not I always have to own whatever the reasons for any hardship that I've been through. But the journey always circles and comes back within.
Yeah.
So whatever struggle that I go through in terms of business, in terms of work-life balance, my personal life, in terms of a lot of things, even the thoughts that I think of, it eventually, stops when you accept it, when you actually surrender to your thoughts, you surrender to whatever you're going through. Okay, and that yoga helped me identify this discipline, let's say.
He seems a very calm man, doesn't
Well, he is.
he? Yes, yes.
Well, speaking of that, I was never calm before as I am now. I would like to say because I used to get angry very fast. I used to be very resentful to a lot of things that been happening in my life. That's when I started doing yoga. And then
And who introduced you to yoga? Or you just picked it up because...
it's a very funny story. As you know, my first job after graduation, I've worked before when I was a student. And, it was in Leaders Institute, in events department. So there was a happiness tour. And I didn't know what was the happiness tour and who's that funny face on the poster. It was Gurudev's face.
Is it?
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's a Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, his first visit in Bahrain. I didn't know him back then, but
Oh, you fell into it at that time when he was visiting?
yeah.
Okay.
So in 2014, I was very fortunate to be one of the people who've been very close to him, guiding the way. And I didn't know who was this guy and how he would change my life.
Through that events company?
Through that event.
Oh my God.
And and I've of course Miss May.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
she was one of the trainers over there, and I asked her, you seem like a very chilled out lady. I'm very interested into yoga. She introduced me to another friend who became one of the dearest friends ever, Mr. Srini. He used to be a general manager for Seco Investment Bank in Bahrain.
Yeah.
And I really love this guy. He helped me a lot through this journey. He used to push me everywhere. He really paved the way.
How life is so strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You have no idea. And and I'm very grateful for everything, I would say I'm very thankful to all the struggles, to the hardship, to every snap that led me to what you can see now, as in calmness and how to be
That's
very...
also an achievement.
Yeah.
Very calm,
Yeah.
very calm.
It is a very nice thing to have, seriously, after all.
So how was your Hope Fund experience?
Can you tell me what that is, first of all?
Oh, he'll tell you.
Okay.
He has more experience around
I'm
Hope Fund.
an alumni right now. Okay. So Hope Fund is, or Hope Ventures, they're an initiative from His Majesty the King, and been enforced by His Royal Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa. And the chairman of it was, or still is, His Excellency Mr. Ayman Al-Muayyad, former minister. And it is an investment arm, okay, for BBON. So Hope Ventures, they have different programs, okay, accelerator programs or Shark Tank alike TV show. Yeah.
Competition.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So the program's length, it was 4 months. I applied, and I've been shortlisted, and I've been very stressed. I want to be shortlisted. Seriously, I was like, the journey for me to be shortlisted took 2 months, and then once I've been accepted, there were like around 200 entrepreneurs.
Wow.
Then we were shortlisted within like 3 months, and then we became like 50 entrepreneurs, and then from the 50 we became 35 entrepreneurs from Bahrain, and then 15 entrepreneurs from UAE. It's been a very nice journey, but I just had like a talk on Thursday about the experience there. It was very interesting in terms of, everybody have different perspectives.
Is it still going on?
And now they just opened the registration for season 3.
Oh, so your cycle is done.
My cycle is done fully right now.
And you got the funds, right? I mean, you were nominated for the funds.
I've been nominated for the funds. We're still hoping to finalize the funds through the crowdfunding platform.
Yeah.
The crowdfunding is still going on. We're still like, let's say we are 20% through.
Nice.
Only, and we're getting there. Hopefully.
It is, but all this is generally a very slow process. It is.
It is.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It is a lot of slow process
It
because
is.
there's a lot of compliance, a lot of policies, a lot of
Yeah.
risks associated with funding.
And I came to actually understand why. I mean, it is acceptable when it comes to, because when it comes to investments, because frankly speaking, you're investing money that you worked very hard for.
Yeah.
You're not just ready to just hand it to like a total stranger and you don't know how they're going to perform.
Yeah.
And you're crowdsourcing as well.
And yes, this is like the crowdfunding
This
platform.
program itself
It's
is
just
that.
you've got it separately.
Yeah. So
But he did mention
the crowdfunding
20% through.
Yeah, but what we want to do is like, it's been like, I've been encouraged by friends and family, even like high school friends. They've been in touch with me. I was like, Mahmoud, we always trusted in you, and we haven't spoken like in years.
That must feel really great.
It does, and it even made me feel like better. I mean, like with myself, I feel more confident.
Yes. Very good
Yeah.
product.
It is, but what gave me more confidence is like, when
To put yourself out there.
Yeah,
It's not easy.
it's never
To
easy.
defend what you're doing to
It's-
everyone.
it was-
Why you're doing it. Why do you think it will be successful? All those
Exactly.
things,
Exactly. It takes like for you to believe in your product,
Yeah.
for other people to buy it.
Yes, yeah. Otherwise, they'll not
Otherwise,
believe in
it will not work.
Yeah, true.
So
I think it's a great experience and exposure that you got.
and just to emphasize on this point as well, you can have a lot of money today. You can have your own brand, okay? You can treat it as a marketing agency. You just promote the brand, but if you don't know what is the component and what is this, like, I would call it as art.
The
It's made of.
nitty-gritty of it, basically.
Exactly.
You know everything because you made it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like this is like what makes the journey very special for me.
Amazing.
And it's not only Gahwa.co. Gahwa.co is very catchy. It is very nice because it's smart.
Youthful, trendy.
Yes. But what I got was way beyond that. And it even like I'm very happy to even be introduced to you. I came to know you through the Gahwa.co journey.
Yes, absolutely.
And through the yoga journey as well.
Yeah.
So it collided in both ways.
Yeah.
And I'm very humbled to be here with you.
It's my pleasure.
Likewise. It really helped me get in touch and network with so many people. So looking back at the journey, I really wouldn't want to change a lot of things. I would have to change a few things.
But I think with your yoga journey, the way you're spreading health and you're spreading awareness, health not just physical but mental also, you're giving something back to people, and that's definitely going to come back to you as something
I
good.
always pray between me and myself. I always say, I pray that God, if you give me something like a need, that's like, or any kind of service that I can give to anyone, don't let it stay in my hand. As in, I don't want to be the reason why it's like blessings are not being spread on in a ripple of happiness, let's say.
Yeah.
I believe in that. I believe in whatever you do, whatever goes around comes around.
Yeah.
And like, I'm very thankful to whatever has been written,
Right.
let's say. And we always believe. I mean, I'm working very hard towards the things that I really know what I want to do and achieve. But after all, there must be some sort of like a higher power that you should hold on into as well. So it's not purely you. Yes, it's prayers when you were a kid. It's your blessings from your parents. It's whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's all
It
interconnected.
doesn't have to be labeled as God. You can label it as the divine. Whatever you want to label the divine is. As long as you know that there is a higher power, then
You're in safe hands.
yeah.
That's a great message.
And on that note,
I really don't have anything else to ask because
so do
you've
I actually.
really given us so much way beyond than what we were expecting on this
I
podcast.
look forward to drinking the coffee and the tea.
And you're going to experience that, sir. Thank you very much, guys. I'm really I'm very delighted to be here, and
And we're
I follow
absolutely
you.
delighted.
I follow
Thank
your
you for coming.
podcast.
Oh,
a
thank you
lot.
so
I've
much.
seen, so you can say I'm a fan.
Oh, thank you so
And,
much. That really means a lot.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes, so with this we
I'm
close.
embarrassed.
You're blushing. It's
It
okay.
is, actually.
It's okay.
So with this we conclude this podcast, and Mahmood, thank you again on a formal note as we
you.
end this. You can watch this podcast, or you may be watching this podcast on our YouTube channel, MH Consultants, and you can also find us on Instagram for all the latest updates from our guests, teasers from our podcasts and things like that on MH Consultants _Bahrain. And thank you always for watching.
He's in pain.
Yes, and we have to thank our sponsors. And our sponsors are the wonderful EasyPay team. Thank you for your continued support on this season, and thank you all.
Thank you.